Denounce placation. Denounce placation. Denounce staycation. Now, if that doesn't sound like anything you recognize, don't disobey it. It's time to stop placating, folks. Time to stop. There are people who want to know why in the Isle of the Conduits, why people are being basically shot and killed and treated as though we just do the charade for what's happening other places in the world. We're just little dollies that charade up what maybe somebody's wife is up to. So they come into the Isle of the Conduits and keep an eye on their kids' conduit that they appointed to. And so when their kid is getting beat up in school, they come into here and they do their so-called investigation. I don't so much think that is correct to do. I think that is not law-abiding. And when you take somebody else's life and say, you're my friend's conduit, and that's it, and they don't know why they're hooked on drugs, they don't know why. So you've all committed a crime. Stop and get out of this realm. Newness of life was not to be placated or to be placated in or to have people's lives taken early, because newness of life was made for people who were wrongly killed. It should only be a small population, and we would only want that, wouldn't we? But wrongly killed doesn't mean murdered. Wrongly killed is you had a very godly purpose, and the devil did more than what he was just, you're the devil and that's what you do. But when he harmed myself and people like myself when I was an infant, and David Miscavige, whether we're talking or not, is a resident of Newness of Life, and that could be why there's all this references and why I have been mentioning him so much. He does not have to marry into newness of life, and he does not know the things that I know about my God, and I don't know the things about his religion either. But that we are residents of newness of life, and you don't kill over and over again a resident of newness of life. You don't rob them, and you just treat them with the utmost of love. I mean, I hear respect, and people don't understand. They're like, hi, ma'am. How you doing, ma'am? Oh, do you want me to get that for you, ma'am? Let me hold the door for you, ma'am. And I'm like, oh, they got that talk. They got that talk about how they need to respect us more. But people are robbing me of money, but money shouldn't be in newness of life. They want to try to blame me. I brought in money. No, I didn't. Nobody told me where I was, but when they did, it was as if they knew they didn't know me. They were asking me where my bus pass was and things like that. So it seemed like it was set up so that I'm like supposed to look dumbfounded and lost everywhere I go. And maybe that was my disobedience. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. I've had so many instructions every day, and everybody wants to be my boss. They all don't. They either recognize me as somebody new, or they recognize me as somebody who looks vulnerable, so they want to be my boss. Trying to find the right angle here, where it's not under my chin all the time. But I'm just bored. I'm in the meditation room. It is a blizzardy, dismal day out in Albany, newness of life. And it's pretty nasty out. So if there's a girl at the IPH named Rachel Depp, do you think they would freaking be suspicious about that? And why don't they look her up? I think I know who she is, but how do you do this when they're hiding in a conduit? You know how you were like, she's hiding inside a person. It's like, and then they swap out bodies. They just swap spirits. They're able to remove their own spirit and play around with it and put it inside somebody else. And some days people are like talking to me like they're oh, like one girl was like, oh, she fights and she was beating people up. It wasn't me. I wasn't beating anybody up. It was two, what I believe to be sisters. They looked alike, two African-American sisters, and they were beating each other up. But she was certain it was me. I'm like, and I mean, she believed it. She's, I need to talk to you about her. She was beating another girl up. And I'm like, no, something's going on here. And not only that, they're on some kind of drug. And there is still police that were in Newness of Life, or people that should have been going to school and learning proper criminal justice while all this was taking place that the Father and Jesus was trying to get done in here. And it's just, I don't want to be robbed of anything, but it's making me feel like unless I don't know what to do at this point. I heard somebody say, I want to purchase, I would like to purchase Big Dope, which is one of my recordings, Big Dope. And I don't know what to do. Just start apprehending these people. They're going to play stupid and they're going to beat my ass. They usually come in a crowd and they're usually all in on it. They all get a cut. And I haven't gotten my Social Security check. So, I mean, I was on Social Security because I worked and could no longer work because of disability. Now I believe my faith has healed me, and I've told them that. I don't tell them every single time I go, but and then they're like, well, if your faith has healed you, go get a job cleaning toilets. You got to start from the bottom and start somewhere. It's like, no. No, I'm sorry, I have an education, and also they seem to make it impossible. And I think it's because somebody's trying to take my Social Security checks, launder them, and give everybody gets a piece. So everybody, everybody's happy, and I'm left homeless. Barely any money, as in like $100 every 2 to 3 weeks. And food stamps. Now, somebody said, I have an SRO available for you to go to, but you need birth certificate, a photo ID, and a Social Security card. Social Security is closed for appointments. You have to do it all online and in the mail. So, like I said, I am in check. I'm in check. Need somebody to intervene here.